Welcome to the Real Estate Podcast.
This is where you will get smart tactics and strategies to accelerate your business.
And where we share top agent secrets and stories that will help all of us be better at our profession and serve our clients better. And we're your hosts, Todd Sumney
And Rich LaRue.
Let's get into the episode.
Ladies and gentlemen, you want to join us today for a great podcast. We've got Adam Cardinal from Rhode Island, one of our top producing agents, and he's talking about game changers in his business. He's got a book to review. You want to hear that, but marketing, advertising, social media tips, you're going to want to be a wrung out sponge ready to soak this up.
Yeah, Adam, actually, he shared with us some ways of extending your reach. You only have so many hours in the day. So how do you actually get more out of those hours by using some social media tools that we won't spoil the fun for you? You got to listen to the episode, but you're going to hear those tools. And you're going to want to go use them.
Let's go.
Adam Cardinal with Cardinal and Company team, real estate team out of Rhode Island. Welcome to the Real Estate Podcast. We are excited to have you here today, and you're going to pick your brain about all things social media, marketing, and what you are doing to drive your business. And I know I have some stories to ask you about some of the viral videos you've done and some of the other things, but where do you want to start?
What do you want to? I don't know.
Let's start with talking about growth.
There you go.
Let's learn a little bit about Adam and your career and your team. Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I was born in 1975. No, I'm just kidding. So I jumped into real estate like 13 years ago. So this is lucky number year 13, which and anything that's different, I try to hop on. People say 13 is unlucky. Now, then for me, it's lucky. So I try to do other things and to stand out. So 13 years in, 7 years in or so, I realized I needed help. I asked my wife at the time, Kelly, hey, can you join me? Can you do my admin work, my schedule and all that stuff? And she said, no, not going to do it. So a few months went by, she dabbled in it, and now she loves it. She's been doing that full time with me. We've been able to add Marie Colvin, who does our contract to closing. And now because of the way HomeSmart Professionals in Rhode Island has all these, it's probably, maybe it's national, maybe it's not, I don't know. But we have, I can give my files to transaction uploading. They schedule my photos, my floor plans, my sign installation, the open houses, putting it in MLS. And I just pay the flat fee to do that, so we've been able to grow. You have to realize the grow or die moments, right? And I rather grow than die off.
I love that. Yes, we do have transaction coordination at almost all of our locations around the country. So it's, I'm happy to hear you taking advantage of that.
That is, I have to tell you, there's game changers. There are steps that are game changers. Game changer one was getting an admin. Even if that's just part-time, even if that's agents to share an admin together, getting an admin is huge. Next is that transaction coordinator, whether it's inputting the data, following the transaction through the closing, keeping all parties involved. That's not my highest and best use. Right. My highest and best use is to get out there and smile, to pull the Vanna White, do-do-do-do-do. Would you like to buy this beautiful home? Now with a new luxury kitchen. That's my, and doing this type of stuff, being out in the public, I shouldn't be sitting there typing up descriptions, and neither should you. Time to grow.
Adam, at what point did you realize that? I mean, you got into real estate 13 years ago, and if you're like most, you kind of bumped around for a little bit, and then the light bulb goes off. Where was that point for you, and what was that first big light bulb? Was it a TC? Was it the fact that you need to be Vanna and out there turning cards and opening doors?
So it was probably year 4 or 5. Like I jumped in right away into this full time. So my first year, I think I had like 30 sides done in my first full year licensed. So I was kind of ahead of the curve.
Dang,
And
nice start.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
30.
So,
That's
but I
awesome.
was in the office. It almost cost me my marriage. It almost cost me my sanity. I was in the office. I was the first one in. 7 a.m. I'd be there turning the lights on. I'd be lucky if I left at 10 p.m., 11 o'clock at night. And this was 5 and 6 days a week, not to mentioning, the showings and the offers and writing things up. It was just, it was chaotic, but I was trying to get the ball rolling. And I didn't have the income because I wasn't at HomeSmart. I was paying this crazy big split. I couldn't hire anybody, and it was nuts. And that was actually the catalyst for me asking Kelly, because Kelly's my wife, like it's coming into our household anyway. Why have to pay outside the household? So that was why I wanted to get her. But the aha moment was reading the E-Myth, the E-Myth.
Oh,
Um,
I love
Uh,
this.
we had a club where not a club, but like just specifically for this book, where a bunch of agents that I was with at the other brokerage, we got together every week. We held each other accountable. We read, all right, gonna do this chapter, next chapter, get there, discuss, go over everything for about an hour every week. And I hate reading. I've always hated reading, but because I knew I had to go meet with them, I was holding myself accountable. I remember just being in my backyard. It's summertime, and I got this meeting tomorrow, and I'm like just pushing myself to read. And before you knew it, the highlighter is out. Like,
okay, so
oh, like look at this, and I'm just
all right. So sum up the E-Myth for you in 60 seconds, what it meant to your business. What's that big takeaway from the book?
you can't do everything yourself. You cannot, let's bring it down to McDonald's. You can't run your advertising. You can't flip the burgers. You can't run the drive-through. You can't clean the bathroom. You can't welcome customers. You can't do all of those things. There are different hats in the business. We're the entrepreneur, we're the manager, we're the worker. I didn't want to be the worker, and I
Right.
don't want to be the worker. And
Right.
management, you have to kind of still be management, but the entrepreneurial stuff is where I thrive. That's where I love creating stuff. So that's E-Myth. It's breaking those 3 things down, separating yourself. If everyone has ever seen the movie Multiplicity,
Yep.
where he clones himself.
Love that movie.
Awesome. So you clone yourself to do your job, but how do you clone yourself?
Right.
You have to program the person that's going to be doing the work for you to let them know this is what we do and this is how we do it. You have to take that hands-on approach in training them up front. But
Awesome.
E-Myth train.
All right, action item for the whole audience. Go to Audible and purchase the E-Myth or buy the hard copy book and read it and highlight it like Adam said. But today's podcast, really want to dig in. You've created quite a following on social media. You've created quite a following with marketing. Want to hear all about that. Additionally, want to get to
marketing me. Let me get a sip of my drink.
Love that. Love that. I love it. And then at the end, we're going to talk a little bit about 2024 right now, summer of 2024, fall of 2024, what you're doing with buyers and sellers and those conversations. But let's table that for a minute. Let's go back and dig into that marketing genius, the entrepreneur, the creating the following, but creating the following with buyers and sellers. You've done a very good job at that. And recently you even did a mastermind session for us where you talked to some of our agents about automating some of those things and using some software tools to do that. So I guess if we can just let you run and hear about that, hear about how you grew it and hear about how you're automating it.
Yeah, so growing it in the beginning was organic. It was, number one, we got to have a separate page. You have to have a separate business page for business. The social medias, especially Meta and Facebook, they're shutting these down. right? So if you have a private page and you're constantly, hey, I'm the realtor in the area, I'm the realtor, it's a private page, you're going to lose it. A local comedian here who's a very good friend of mine, he had, I don't know, like 20-something thousand people on his page. It was his private page, and he was putting up his info and where he was going to be and what he was doing, and Meta shut him off, deleted it. He lost everybody, had to start from scratch. So have your private, because also there's things in your private life you don't want to put everywhere, but have your private and then have your business page completely separately. It has to be, you can still have them connected, but two separate things. And I invited everyone I knew, like literally everybody I know. I friend them on Facebook. It was kind of all organic in the beginning, then invite them to the business page. Or then when I started boosting stuff and running ads and people would like things, and you click the button, you invite. It's a whole nother thing. Social media is social. It can't be stagnant. You got to get out and push and entertain. That's another thing a lot of people don't realize. If you're putting up that, hey, I listed a house, I sold a house, I listed a house, here's an interior, here's a kitchen, here's where, unfollow, I'm done with you. Like, I don't want to see it. They don't want to see that stuff. So like, I do like a 90-10, 90% fun, local stuff, funny videos, weird stuff we might see in the industry, like a plumber cut the beams out to run something through it, take a picture, make somebody laugh and be like, what the heck is this? And then pepper it in. Hey, I'm at an open house this weekend. Or, hey, congratulations to my seller, or congratulations to my buyer. That's sprinkled on top, right? They stay for the journey, for the fun stuff. That's what they're going to interact with. They're not all going to be, you put up 1,000 photos of every listing you ever had, and they're going, they're not entertained. We have 30 seconds, 30 seconds of people see something to get them hooked. And we have to do things.
Can you recall a couple of your most engaged posts?
My most engaged actually happened several years ago. So here in Rhode Island, we had the blizzard of 1978. It was this crazy, buried everybody. We're talking 5-6 feet of snow.
We had it in the Midwest too. It hit us first and then went over to you. We did. It
shut everything down for like 10 days. Everyone was buried. So a famous broadcaster, radio broadcaster, is Salty Brine. Just like you think of like a salty brine water, like that's his name, because he was a captain, wore a captain's hat. And he used to have this famous thing. He's passed away since, but he'd announce the school's out. So who did we listen to? But you listen to the 92 Pro FM, you listen to the 63 WPRO, listening for your school to get canceled, right? And he would be, no school, Foster Gloucester. And that was his famous thing. Foster Gloucester is this remote northwest town here in Rhode Island. And he would announce that being off. And people would go crazy. That was and he'd ring the bell. That was going crazy. So I just made this post. I found a picture of him and I just superimposed over it during a snowstorm. Who remembers this guy? And I put no school Foster Gloucester as the thing. It hit like 125,000 people. And that blew my mind. That was just like, wow. And people still share that. And when winter comes around, it comes up as people's memories and they share it again. It's like Salty's living forever,
Love that. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's great. And then some of your other like videos, I know you've done some really viral videos. I know you did one last year where you incorporated the whole company and got the whole company involved. You want to tell us all about that one?
Oh yeah, so we did a welcome home video. It was all about inclusiveness, bringing everybody together, and just the timing of that when we were coming up with that, and the timing of everything that was going on in the country, and just trying to bring people together. So it was just very simple. It was welcome home, but it was multiple languages. So we had agents, because we have several hundred agents here in the Rhode Island office. And I don't know exactly the number, maybe it was 30, 25, 30, but anyone who spoke a different language. Like if somebody, we were just saying, I was saying, welcome home. Someone in Spanish, bienvenido a la casa. I probably butchered that. Don't blame me. But we had Serbian and Russian and Thai and like you name it. And we had someone in American Sign Language and in French. And then we just put this out. We put it up on Facebook and on socials, and it just went in fuego.
Right.
And that's all it was. It was just about welcome. And Dean opened it and he said, here at HomeSmart, we understand, he put something about home is for everyone.
Right.
And that it still gives me the goosebumps and the
Right.
chills, that
Rich.
opening line. And then it just went to agent to agent to agent, maybe under a minute. And then it just went to a group shot of all of us. And it was just crazy.
Right. Rich, I'm going to have to show you that video if you haven't seen it already, because it was the epitome of community, because it was like all of the agents in Rhode Island all participated and got together, and it just, resonated, right?
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can share the link in here too. People can see it, and each broker just could copy it. Like do the same thing. Like get each individual brokerage to, hey, let's do this. Or if it's not that, something similar where people come together and show unity. There's enough business for everybody. And that's what the old model of real estate was, cutthroat, right? Like, hey, I got a great idea. I'm going to keep it for myself. I'm not going to share anything. This is a whole different world that we live in. And my SOI is different than Todd's SOI and different than Rich's SOI. And even here in Rhode Island, we all have different SOIs. So if we collaborate together to put out a message together, your own SOI is still going to reach out directly to you when it's time to list or to buy. It's going to happen. But why not get together collaboratively and be able to market on a much higher level?
So how did you create that culture with your fellow agents to do that?
Dean did. That's
Okay.
all. That is Dean's, like attracts like.
Right.
So Dean is a teacher. He's a giver. He wants to see us all succeed. And because he's like that, he attracts agents and brokers and other people around him that are very similar. So we all feed off of each other. We all give ideas. We have brainstorming sessions constantly. It's down to just one-on-ones. I have one agent, Mark Barter, that him and I hold each other accountable every week with weekly meetings. We have monthly meetings, round tables, where there's, dozens or 20s or 30s, and then monthly, there's the big one where there's like 75 or 80, depending on who's joining virtually or in person at the office. But all that collaboration, there's no reason for one person to reinvent the wheel. None. Like we all have it. We all can just feed off of each other and use my template. I give stuff away all the time. Here's the template I have for this. Here's the form I have for this. Here's the letter I have for this. It just betters all of us by sharing.
So you were talking about your unique sphere of influence, SOI. Like why do customers work with you and the Cardinal Company, and why is what you're doing on social driving that?
I think people work with us because it's the same reason why they work with any other realtor. They know you, they like you, they trust you. You have to be a proven entity, right? Could I make many, many, many more sales per year if I did things differently? Yes. Could I not get repeat referral business because of that practice? Oh yeah, that would hurt in the long run. I won't let, my thing, I tell people all the time, I treat you the way I would treat my family. If I'm not going to buy the house, I'm not going to let you buy the house. I'm going to advise you in my best capacity. And when people see you're like, listen, you don't even want to go look at this house because of X, Y, and Z. I don't really tell them not to look at it, but I say, listen, I want you to know this before we go. There's asbestos wrap in the basement. I can see there's water staining just from the photos. The photos alone show me that the roof is shot. The disclosures say this. It's in a flood zone. It's next to the landfill. It's across the street from the airport. You know, I'm not trying to upsell anybody. I want them happy, and they know it. You know, it's really putting the client first, because this is a customer service business, and a lot of people have lost sight of that. It's just sales, sales, sales. No, there's relational real estate sales, and then there's just sales. And the straight up sales, you could be selling used cars. You just want to get the sale. But when you're relational and you're looking out for your client's best interest, they know it, they feel it, they understand it, and they start referring you to everybody. And that's where that wave carries forward, is doing right by one person and them saying, wow, like he talked me out of that. I got one investor who we became such good friends. I met him in one of my first listing open houses 13 years ago. Tire kicker, just coming in, looking around. I stayed in touch with him, and man, years later, after we were like 20, 25 transactions deep, right? He said to me, do you know why I come back to you? Because most investors go right to a listing agent. They go right, I got cash, I'm going to go to a listing agent, try to work a deal. And he said, you know why I work with you all this time and come back to you instead of doing the old way? And I'm like, no, why? He goes, because you've talked me out of more bad investments than anyone I've ever met in this entire industry. Because I knew, like, and he said, we've never lost. We never lost. Anytime even when we had one thing where a pipe burst in a house, he still won. He still. So you have to advise people and treat them fairly.
Right, right. Well, that speaks to the fiduciary gift that you're giving your customers, being their fiduciary for them. You're not concentrating on a sale. You're concentrating actually on helping them meet their goals and protecting them while meeting their goals. And that speaks volumes about you and about your character. And
it's like that, you know, that Zig Ziglar, you can have anything in life that you want as long as you help others get what they want. And that's what it is. We're helping somebody home. We're helping you find your way home.
Right.
That's what we're doing.
Right.
And yes, we make a living off of it, but I won't compromise their home for my pocketbook. Like, it doesn't make sense.
And along those lines, Adam, I mean, Todd and I absolutely believe in the relationship building business and being relational in our businesses and our life, for that matter. With the volume that you're running, you must have some automation in there as well, though. So what are you doing to automate your business, and how do you balance the relationship management with that automation?
So the automation, for the most part, is like on social media, on the business page, right? There's MetaSuite for Facebook and for Insta, because now they're all owned by the same company. So you can go on and pre-program. That's the fun stuff, right? The photos, the wacky stories, a video that you took. I try to get bulk videos done. I got a videographer. He just does everything for like a whole month, and then we get them uploaded and scheduled. So there's a lot of.
So using MetaSuite,
Yes.
and so META and then SUITE, and does it cost money?
No, if you're gonna boost,
Okay.
or if you're gonna pay for ads or something like that, yes, then it'll cost you. But it's part of Facebook. Facebook is Meta, right? They have this overall umbrella that Facebook is under, that Instagram is under. So they created this. This is their platform for professional business owners using it. So no extra fee unless, again, if you're going to boost a post, if you're going to run ads for your page, then that's all a la carte stuff. But it's a game changer compared to, they did have something similar 10 years ago where you could actually schedule in advance, but it wasn't connected the way it is now. So this goes on multiple platforms at one time when you're scheduling.
So how did you learn how to do that? Did you watch videos or just jump right in?
I'm a take the ball and run kind of guy. I I looked it up. Actually, I think I saw an ad for it for like MetaSuite and what it was, and then I looked into it, and then I started messing around with it. Even that, like I make the joke where most realtors sell one house in their first year, and I sold my first house in 3 days of being licensed because I just take the ball and run. I had no idea what I was doing. Literally, I sold the house, and I'm like, oh boy, I don't know what to do with this paperwork. And that was back when we had to have 5 original copies of everything. It was like, I was losing my mind. But everything changes. It gets crazy.
What else do you do to automate your processes?
So the process, I have a magazine that goes out every other month. What the heck's the name of the magazine? Like, I think it's under American Lifestyles or whatever.
Oh, it's Reminder Media then.
Reminder Media.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Excellent.
my
Great
magazine goes
They have
out.
a couple you can choose from. Yeah.
I go to people's houses now, just friends. You go to, because everybody that we work with, we tell them you're part of the Cardinal family now. We become, unless they're like completely stuck up and don't get us. All right, there is that percentage, but we become friends. And we walk in, I'll see the magazines like on the counter, on their coffee table, like you're at a dentist office. They're like, these are so nice, I don't want to throw them away. So that's automatic, and it goes out and gets billed to the credit card every other month. Our postcards we have automated, that goes out. We automate even like phone calls. Not like Kelly makes like our SOI calls, our quarterly calls personally. She leaves messages and she's following up. But like let's say it's holiday time, and we want to wish everybody like, hey, a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, or whatever it is. I can't physically call 1,000 people. You can't do it. So something like slide broadcast, where Kelly and I can record a message, and it feels live. It feels authentic. We're like, hey, it's Adam and Kelly. We just called. We wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Thank you so much for being a part of our lives. We really appreciate you. Have a great, 2025, whatever, because it's coming up. So we record that, and then we put it in there, and it goes. And we set it so it's going to go and send on whatever day, and it bypasses the ring and drops right into their voicemail, and it shows a missed call from me. And I get texts I'm so sorry, I missed your call. Oh my God. I'm like, no, you and 1,000 other people. But another thing we automated, like we send birthday cards, but we took it to another level with the birthday cards. We create every year we create a new birthday video. It's me, it's Kelly, it's something kooky, crazy, and we create that video, and we have our regular birthday cards that we order, but I made a QR code that links directly to the video. So when they're at home, they open their mail, they get a scratch ticket, lottery ticket from us, and the regular card, and it's all done. That's all, like, it's all signed, it's all filled out, happy birthday, and the QR code is like scan for your video, and it's generic that it gets everybody, because it can't be, I can't make 1,000 of them that say happy birthday, Todd. Like, right. I can't do that. Right. But it's generic enough that it grabs everybody, and it's just a fun 30-second video. We did one from the perspective of the birthday boy, girl, whoever, And it was from their perspective, them walking in, and Kelly and I are sitting behind the desk. We're like, oh my God, Kelly, look who's here. And she's like, hi, how are you? Oh my God, it's their birthday. Oh, it's their birthday. Hey, happy birthday. Boom, fireworks go off. A cake comes out of the ground, like all the stuff the videographer did. And it's just like music and fun. And it's just something like that. And having that automated. And that reminds me now, Sly Broadcast has this new feature that I want to mess with. So you can record your voice. So it would just ask me to say keywords, and you can record your voice and say if you have Todd Sumney and Rich LaRue in there in my system with your phone numbers. When it goes out and I record my live portion, but it will use my voice to now AI drop in
Rich
the name
Bird.
Todd and drop in the name Rich.
Okay.
Like, how awesome is that?
That is
That's
pretty awesome.
kind of creepy, but it's very awesome.
Right.
I just hope nobody orders like 1,000 pizzas using my voice and sends them somewhere.
That's awesome. Well, you told us when we got on the call this morning, before we started recording, we talked Beetlejuice.
Yes.
Tell us, you had a pretty cool event for all of your friends and family and neighbors and customers.
Yeah.
Tell us all about it.
So we call it family, friends, and favorites, because we never want anyone to say, oh, that's family, it's their friends, or clients. It's family, friends, and favorites. That's just our thing. Okay. And we actually a separate. So this is like a kind of new thing. So when anyone wants to steal it, go for it. Because again, your SOI is not my SOI. You have your regular business page. Great, awesome. Separately, create a VIP page. And these are for your people that you're active with all the time. Maybe your top 100, maybe your top 200. And we do these events. And literally, like, it has our logo, right? But stamped across it, diagonally says VIP Club. And these are people that might get, say, hey, you're gonna buy a house through us. Maybe we get you an appraisal credit from the lender, or we give you a home warranty at closing. Or these different events that are posted. So we did Beetlejuice because Beetlejuice 2 came out. I'm not going to spoil anything, but see it at home. Wait for it to come out at home. But we had, I got sponsors, lenders, home inspectors, insurance company. We rented out an entire theater. We had 100 capacity for 102. I held back a few tickets just in case somebody showed up with an extra person here or there. It was Friday night. It was a blast. Everybody came out. We had Beetlejuice there in person. That was me.
That was you. I'm looking at your picture. And I'm so impressed that you dressed up as Beetlejuice.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you want to grab any of that to show people, grab a, whatever, put it out there. But I am very comical. I'm a ham. I don't care. I've just learned not just to be myself. So we had a great time. People were coming around the corner and they're expecting, all right, you're going to have the table set up and you have stuff for everybody. But they weren't expecting me to jump out of the dark as Beetlejuice, holding rubber snakes and a rubber mouse and eyeball fingers, doing this in front of people. Right. And it was great. And that was the other thing too. So you got a multi-tier thing. So you have a great event. Awesome. You've invited these people to the event. They come, but all right, hey, it's over. It's done. What'd you get? Like, what are the top of mind, awareness did you get out of it? But all right, now I took all that and I sent those the video guy and photo guy did all the editing, made those nice photos, which are up on Facebook, which now has the photo with, they had no idea, a Beetlejuice background. So it's like the graveyard scene and it says Beetlejuice. We're just taking photos in the hallway at the movie theater. They had no idea. So we dropped that in for the background. We dropped them in, and at the bottom, it has all the sponsors, and then we put it on social. Great. And we tag them. Now they're sharing it, and it's going out everywhere, which is a lot of fun. But now separately, like as we speak, Kelly is having those photos printed, and we're going to send a thank you card to all the attendees with the photos of their family members, whoever they were with, their friends, and send them again with a thank you. Have all the stuff at the bottom, and that's what it's about. It's making use of things multiple times in multiple ways. Like I just recorded we have our own podcast too. It's Guy NRI Local Real Estate Insights with Adam Cardinal. Yeah, something like that. Google it. But we recorded one a week ago.
I actually saw it Friday at the airport. You popped up into my feed, and I saw your podcast. I think you were talking about some financing topics this episode.
Was it Annie Mac?
It might have been.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that one was a special episode because of a new product they have. And that's the thing. Like, all right, you're going to have that. You're going to film it. Great. Just like we're filming this. And It can be one thing in and of itself right here in the box.
Right.
But now that we have that, put it up on social media. Great. All right. Well, now it's on YouTube and it's on Facebook and it's on Insta and wherever it is. Great. But now you have this long form content. Break it up into reels, break it up into sections, click here to watch part 2, click here to learn more, having those call to action buttons attached to it. So right now the video where we recorded that 2 weeks ago for the long form, our video guy is chopping it up into 20 and 30-second clips.
Right.
That will generate more. And if they want to see more, then it'll bring a link to get to the main body.
Okay.
So it's so much fun. But you got to use everything.
Adam, I've got somebody's head in my voice, someone's voice in my head right now, going back to the pictures of the Beetlejuice event. You said you're sending those out to your clients.
Yeah.
Are you sending physical pictures? Are you having the pictures printed, and are you mailing them with a thank you note, or are you emailing the thank you note and it's the digital photo?
So the digital photo they have through their socials.
Yep.
And people that don't have socials are getting a digital copy, but we are mailing them. So there's going to be an actual thank you. I'm big about mail because the internet is like, we're static. There is so much out there and everyone is pushed for digital everything. You never get a handwritten birthday card from anyone. Like I think my Nonny in 1983 was the last one to send me a handwritten birthday card, other than Dean DeTonicourt, our head broker here. He sends one every year. And you know what? That is like, wow, like you get something tangible in your hand. And even if it's only a birthday card on a lottery ticket, or if it's a thank you card for coming to my event, it right away, like when we get a referral, thank you card goes out, not a thank you text. Like, yes, that's fine. A thank you email or a thank you Facebook message. Wonderful. But a thank you card. And then there's a scratch ticket in it or a Dunkin' card for $5. Thank you for referring us. And Dean, see, a lot of what I regurgitate is from Dean in this ear and it comes out my mouth. But excellent. I was telling Dean what we were doing with the thanking clients. Thanking people when they would refer us. Hey, we're sending like a thank you card after closing and like with a gift card or a restaurant gift certificate or whatever. And he said, send it the moment you get the referral. And I'm going, really? He said, yeah, you want to reward the behavior. And then later you can do it again. But if it doesn't close, what did you do? If you didn't get the lead, or if you didn't get the listing, or you didn't get the buyer, now that person feels like, hey, I gave them a name and I never heard from them. But enforce that good feeling and send them a thank you right off the bat. And we've been doing it for years now. And like, it's another game changer. Those little things, you never know what's going to work. The little things, game changers.
Well, if I had $1 for every golden nugget that I've gotten from Dean and Rich both, they just drop these little nuggets for you, like, send it the moment you get the referral. That's genius. And that's just, and I got 3 days of that last week, one-on-one with Dean, which was awesome. So those of you that are listening, Dean is scheduled to be on our podcast coming up. They are coordinating a date right now. So you will get to meet Dean DeTonicourt, which Adam is referencing and is Adam's broker, and Dean is a wealth of knowledge, past president of the Rhode Island Association of Realtors, very involved, etc. Blah, blah, blah. So you'll all get to meet him, but love hearing that about do it right away. Do it instantly.
Absolutely. And to the point of, it's almost like automating it, right? How do you automate like sending thank you cards? As much as you can, we have a pre-made whole box of the thank you cards. Kelly buys scratch tickets 100 at a time. You know, she has everything ready, so we're not having to dig. You know, when I shoot her a message, hey, we got a referral from John, and he's referring his sister Sally, and she needs to sell a house, and blah 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 blah. I send her the info. She already has all the stuff. That day gone right away. It's in the mail. Whether we get that transaction or not, you know, reinforce the behavior of the people.
Exactly, and that is the automation of a relational business, because you're keeping it still highly relational, but you're cutting out the pieces of the step there, instead of waiting around for the referral and then going, oh yeah, I need a thank you card, and oh yeah, I got to run to the corner to buy a scratcher.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, how much time does that take? Buy them in bulk, do it. Yeah.
So Todd, you've been here. You've been in my actual office, which is here in Warwick, and it looks like a warehouse.
Yeah.
That's why I have something nice behind me, because my office looks like a warehouse. I have wire racks, and there's just you know, swag and hats and cups and gift bags and little trinkets, and like it's ready to go. So it's not like every time I have a closing, I have to go and, all right, let me go buy this, let me go find that. What do they like? And no, I order things in bulk.
Yeah.
They come to the office, we stock the shelves, and hope to give it away. You know, and as stupid as a chip clip, like we got the little plastic chip clips that have this logo.
Right. Right.
And, you know, I buy them 500 at a time, you know, because we put them out at open houses. But that's another thing. We go to people's houses to go for, you know, a barbecue, and you look, and on the table is the bag of chips, and there's Cardinal and Company just clamped right on the bag. It's fantastic.
Right. Well, and that's why I think that it's you know, it's really about making more efficient, making more use of your time. I think it was you or Dean who said it's spreading the love more, spreading the love farther. It's just expanding the reach is really what you're trying to do, so that you can help more people. It's not automation for, you know, a blasting standpoint of it's that, you know, I'm sitting here thinking the last 2 Christmases or, you know, Thanksgivings, I've wanted to send some messages out, but you're with family, you're cooking, you're doing all these different things. And then I ended up not doing it. I'm just being, you know, and then now I'm sitting here hearing you, like, you know, doing that would be a way of actually letting them know I am thinking about them, and that I'm that I hope they're having a great day, just doing it in an efficient way, right?
Because here's the thing: we all get the, you know, happy Thanksgiving from your local bank, and happy Thanksgiving from your mechanic. That comes in an email form, and it's generic and it's canned, and we know it, and it feels very different. It feels like you're on a list. But just to set up whatever program you want to use, I use Sly Broadcast. Do just another one. It's Dial My Calls is another one I've used in the past, which is really cool. And they just for text messaging, they just enabled where we can send photos.
Yeah.
So we can actually send bulk photos. So if I'm doing like the Beetlejuice movie invite, the invite came on their phone in a photo. So it went, you know, so many people in addition to our VIP club page. So, and that's the thing, the thought is what counts, right? So if they get a message from you and it's audio and it's on their phone, they're not going to go, oh, this guy's calling me again. No, because you're not calling for anything. You're not calling asking for anything. You're calling to say, I hope you're having a great day. I hope whatever holiday you're enjoying with your loved ones, that it's memorable and it's awesome. And you just really, and it's just me, like, I don't end those things and call Cardinal Company, blah, blah, blah. I just make it authentic, because that's what it is. That's the way I want to talk to people. That's the way I want them. I don't want them to think of me as a salesperson. No, I'm just a guy, we like each other, we can hang out. And if you know anyone looking to sell or buy, I'm your guy, Adam Cardinal, Cardinal Company team at HomeSmart.
Love that. Do you ever not smile? You ever?
When I pay bills, when I go to the dentist, and when I have to get my brakes done, I think.
Yeah. Wow. All right. So, Rich, ask him the mistake question.
So you're big in social. Tell us a fun story about your biggest mistake that you've done with social media or marketing in general.
Biggest mistake as a flub, or something I probably shouldn't have spent money on, you think?
Sure.
Both.
Yeah.
I want to hear them both.
All right. So the biggest, I do lives a lot, right? So recently I've been doing a monthly real estate update with a local lending partner. Great guy, great stuff. And we're explaining that this is live. I can't edit anything out.
Right.
So I'm trying to explain to the audience, right? So I got my notepad, and this, here's my things to do, right? And so I'm jotting down, and I'm like, here, listen, here's the difference between this, and this. And I just want to give you a quick visual because it's live. So I write it down and I go like this. Yeah. And that was on a notepad from an entire different lender. Right. And
whoops.
I saw his face go, right? And I didn't and then I realized it, and I was like, oh, and I just chucked it to the side. So that's out there living. That was a few months ago.
Hey, but the thing is, I think sometimes when it comes to marketing, engaging our audience and everything, we have to get over some fear sometimes. And, like, if that's your worst thing that you've ever done, then the message to the audience and the agents listening is just get out there with your sphere more, spread the love that, of what you're trying to do more, spread the word that you're here to help so you can help more people, and get out there and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, right?
No, just be your authentic self.
All right. Now you mentioned maybe a waste of money though. What was maybe a waste of money?
Do you want me to bash on lead gen? Because I'm all out.
Hey, this is this is the Adam Cardinal show. Say what really happened.
All right. So so there's I got caught up in the beginning. My first 3 years or so, I got caught up in that paying for lead gen, right? Crazy amounts of money. When I did the numbers at the end of the year, it broke even. It's like, okay, that paid for itself. I'm not in business to keep them in business. Next year, did it again. Okay, I got some kind of like growth out of it, a few SOI leads. Same thing, third year. At the beginning, I should have went all in on my SOI right from the beginning. Not went for these cold leads. Now, when these turnovers are the numbers are disgusting. People would say, well, if the leads are any good, the companies would keep them for themselves. Why they selling them to us? They could be so rich. Why are they selling them to us? And when I flipped that model and when the dollar, I spent a lot less dollars on marketing directly to my SOI with a massive return. Like, that's, if I could go back and tap myself on the shoulder and say, hey, stupid, don't click that. Don't pay for that. That's what I would do, because that was really a waste of tens and tens of thousands of dollars over the course of 3 years. Where if I had put that in my SOI right now, I'd probably be on Maui on a beach. You'd be interviewing somebody else.
Wow. Well, that's great advice. Great advice. So here we are. We're sitting here in the entering fall of 2024. What are some important conversations to be having right now with buyers? And what are some important conversations to be having with sellers? How are you?
I think the elephant in the room, and everybody knows it, is no matter if you're talking to buyers or sellers, is the NAR settlement, and how buyers are represented, and how realtors are paid their brokerage fee, and bringing up our worth, explaining now what a buyer's agent actually does. I've always been transparent in all aspects, whether it's on the buying side or the selling side. And what I mean by that is letting them know what I'm doing. So it's not just, okay, hey, we're going to sign the listing, and then, hey, I'll see you at the open house, and whatever. It's literally like, I want so many updates. I want them to really see what we're doing. Same with buyers. Here's a, all right, with the listing goes live, the sign has been, whether this is coming from me or it's coming from Kelly or it's coming from Marie. Hey, here's the update for, this week or today, or what's happening. Hey, appraisal's been ordered. It's scheduled for this day. The water meter reading is scheduled for this day, but the smoke, like all these other things we take for granted, that it's just our job. And then if you don't let them know you're doing these things, they're like, what am I paying this guy for? Like, I could have done all this stuff myself. But if you dump an avalanche, because that's really what real estate is, it's an avalanche of tasks that need to be completed within a minimum time frame. And if you're dinging them constantly, whether it's the buyer or the seller, let them see actual items, checkbox items that, hey, there's 158 things I have to do to get you in that house. Show your worth, show your value. And I've just been explaining all these things to buyers and sellers for a long time, but even more so now, going into this fall. And, I actually like the separation. I know a lot of agents are going to disagree with it. I like this. I like this separation because I can fully negotiate for my seller. And I've had 3 recent transactions where my seller paid bupkis, 0 on the other side. And not for lack of wanting to, but because the ability was there and the buyer was able to pay for it. And the buyer's agent knew what to do and knew the right language. There was one, the offer came and we upped, not we, Dean's gonna hate when I say that. He's like, we are not French in real estate. There is no we. My sellers counter offered to go up in price to work in the buyer credit, the buyer broker credit. So it's just having those conversations and educating. That's the big things, no matter if it's buyers or sellers. This is the crucial moment. We got to know what we're talking about. We have to know how to deliver the message. And we've been Dean's been putting this in our heads for like 18 months. So when it hit, we were all ready over here. It's like, we just didn't miss a beat, jumped right in.
Right. Well, your investor story earlier of the investor who typically they will just go directly to the seller. Your investor story talking about still using you speaks volumes about that level of service and all the different things that you're doing to provide him value and protect him. So that speaks volumes. Yeah.
Yep. And actually, I'm going later today as another property he has, and he's in Florida enjoying semi-retirement. And he's just like, yeah, this tenant's moving out. I'm going to sell that unit, that condo. And you got some contractors and stuff that we used before. Can you just, get them in there, take a look, let me know what it is. I'll just write the checks to them. I trust you. because it's 12 years of me not pulling his leg. Like he knows.
Right.
And even that, oh, I'll get, put yourself down for, something for, extra. And I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want that. I'm your friend. I'm going to line these people up. I'm going to do my job. We'll get a brokerage fee like we always do. I don't need anything more. I want you to be happy. Like, that's it. And I treat everyone like that.
Right. Right. Well, this has been wonderful. I've got one more question, Rich, but how about you? Anything you want to know from Adam?
No, actually, I am still trying to absorb everything. I feel like a sponge this morning. Adam, fantastic. This is one of our great episodes where an agent can just come in and soak this up. And so now, Todd, take it home.
The one question that I just love to hear from you is you've talked so many times about your different customers. What's out of your career, the one event story where you helped someone the most that sticks with you, gives you that extra energy to get up when it's cold in the morning during the winter, and you're gonna still get up and you're gonna go in and you're gonna help people? What's that one story that really?
Yeah. I mean, I have a bunch, but as you're saying it, there's one that pops to mind. And I start to actually like tear up a little bit thinking of it. There is a woman that we met through a church group, like, again, maybe 10 or 11 years ago. To see what she went through with a divorce, a special needs child. She was working 4 jobs, doing all this crazy stuff. There was a point where her son was partially in a wheelchair. The house was not handicap accessible by any means. He had to have back surgery, and we threw a fundraiser event on a Thursday night and raised $25,000 for him, so they could do what they had to do to help offset medical costs. Like that was one portion of that, but seeing her go from this little tiny box of a house to be able to, because she's got 3 kids and they got the dog and they got things more modern, more accessible, and to this new home which she purchased this past summer, and just seeing how hard she worked through that. And she put up a post saying, "Thank you so much for us for doing this for her," and all this. And I turned right back around and I said, "I didn't do any of this. You did this. You worked 4 jobs. You supported those kids. You took care of your household. I helped guide you to where your destination was. I didn't do this. You did this. This is your hard work." Like, I want to get, like, I get choked up because just seeing that transformation from that point where they were with the divorce and everything she went through, to barely surviving, to completely thriving, owning her own business. She's also a teacher. She does so many things for so many other people, and she needed something done for her. And all we did was help. All we did was we helped bring you home. Your home, that was your home, regardless. We just helped you go there. It was all her work. I just love that.
Wow. Well, see the smile on Rich's face, the smile on my face. I mean, that just warms our heart, because I just commend you for that. And we love working with agents like you that do that every day to help customers. And thank you for your time coming on today and sharing all your stories with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Adam, I mean, it's obvious you have a huge heart, and you bring such a human element to selling homes, and it really is about helping people get into the home of their dreams and to have that life with their kids, and they grow up there, and it makes a difference. So thanks for being you, man.
Thank you. Yeah, well.
All right, so everybody look up Adam on Facebook, Instagram, social media, search for his podcast, ask him for tickets to his next year's movie, event, or, barbecue in the summer, whatever he's going to do. But reach out and connect with Adam. Those of you agents, also, I would suggest follow him, connect with him, follow him on social media, DM him. He's one of the most giving and sharing agents that I know, that he'll share any idea with everyone. And if it works for him, he wants to work for all of you throughout the whole country. So Adam, really appreciate you being here today on the Real Estate Podcast. Rich and I appreciated it.
My pleasure.
Good stuff.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Adam.
Any final message for everyone? Any thought that we didn't touch on?
I think we got pretty much everything. Just go out there, be authentic, put your client first. The rest will follow. That's it.
Love that. Thank you. All right, we'll see you all back on future episodes. Make sure you give the big thumbs up down below, and we'll see you back on the next episode of the Real Estate Podcast. Take care.
See you again.
Like what you're hearing on The Real Estate? Tell your friends about us. Tell them to check out all of our episodes on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. And don't forget to send any topics you want us to tackle to therealestate@homesmart.com.